Have you ever wondered why some people seem to manifest their desires effortlessly while you're stuck in an endless cycle of visualizing, affirming, and waiting? What if I told you that everything you've been taught about manifestation is completely backwards, and that's exactly why it's not working for you? Today, we're diving deep into the quantum mechanics of reality creation. And I promise you, by the end of this video, you'll never look at manifestation the same way again. Picture this scenario. You wake up every morning, sit in meditation, and visualize your dream life. You see yourself in that perfect relationship, living in your ideal home, with financial freedom flowing through your bank account. You feel the emotions, repeat the affirmations, and maintain positive thoughts throughout the day. Yet months pass, maybe even years, and somehow your desires feel just as distant as when you started. Sound familiar? Here's the shocking truth that most spiritual teachers won't tell you. Traditional manifestation methods are keeping you trapped in a perpetual state of wanting. Every time you visualize something as a future goal, you're unconsciously reinforcing the gap between where you are and where you want to be. You're literally programming your subconscious to believe that what you desire exists somewhere out there in the future, not here in your present reality. But what if there was a completely different approach? What if instead of manifesting forward from desire to outcome, you could manifest backwards from outcome to present moment? This is what I call the quantum shift, and it's about to revolutionize everything you thought you knew about creating your reality. The quantum field operates on principles that seem to defy conventional logic. At the subatomic level, particles exist in multiple states simultaneously until they're observed. This phenomenon, known as superposition, reveals something profound about the nature of reality itself. All potential outcomes of your life already exist as possibilities within the quantum field. You're not creating something new, you're simply selecting which reality you want to experience. Think of it like this. Imagine walking into an enormous library where every possible version of your life exists as a complete book on the shelves. The version where you're financially abundant, the one where you have the perfect relationship, the timeline where you're living your dream life. These aren't possibilities you need to create, they're realities you need to select. Traditional manifestation is like trying to write the entire book from scratch. Quantum manifestation is simply walking over to the shelf, picking up the book you want, and reading it as if it's already your current story. This shift in perspective changes everything about how you approach manifestation. Instead of focusing on what you don't have, you begin to identify with what already exists in the quantum field. Instead of reaching toward a future outcome, you embody the present reality of already having achieved it. This isn't about positive thinking or wishful visualization. This is about understanding that consciousness itself is the creative force that collapses quantum possibilities into concrete experiences. The most successful manifestors throughout history have intuitively understood this principle. They don't chase their desires from a place of lack. They don't spend their energy trying to convince the universe of their worthiness. Instead, they naturally assume the identity of someone who already has what they want. They think from the end result rather than toward it. They operate from a state of having rather than wanting. But here's where most people get confused. When I say embody the outcome, I'm not talking about pretending or putting on an act. I'm talking about a genuine shift in your internal state. Your nervous system, your emotional frequency, your energetic signature needs to match the reality you want to experience. The quantum field doesn't respond to what you think you deserve or how hard you try. It responds to who you're being in this moment. Let me share with you the 3 foundational principles of backwards manifestation. First, all realities exist simultaneously in the quantum field. Science has proven that at the quantum level, time isn't linear. Past, present, and future coexist as a unified field of possibilities. When you truly understand this, you realize that your desired outcome isn't something you need to create in the future. It already exists right now as a potential reality waiting for you to align with it. Second, consciousness determines experience. Your awareness, your focus, your dominant emotional state is literally collapsing infinite possibilities into a singular experience. Every moment of every day, you're unconsciously selecting which version of reality you experience through the frequency you're broadcasting. If you're consistently in a state of wanting, needing, or lacking, the quantum field has no choice but to mirror back more situations where those feelings are confirmed. Third, embodiment precedes manifestation. This is perhaps the most crucial principle to understand. You don't get what you want by wanting it harder. You get what you want by becoming energetically identical to the version of yourself who already has it. The universe doesn't deliver based on your desires. It delivers based on your identity. Now let's talk about the practical application. How do you actually manifest backwards? The process begins with what I call quantum assumption. Instead of visualizing yourself getting what you want sometime in the future, you assume the feeling of already having it right now. You don't imagine how great it will feel to be wealthy. You embody the emotional state of someone who is already wealthy. You don't fantasize about finding your soulmate. You align with the frequency of someone who is already in a loving relationship. This creates an immediate shift in your nervous system. When you assume the outcome is already yours, anxiety dissolves, desperation fades. Why? Because there's no longer any question about whether it will happen. From this new internal state, you're no longer signaling lack to the quantum field. You're broadcasting completion, satisfaction, and gratitude. The most powerful manifestation technique I've ever discovered involves a complete reversal of traditional visualization. Instead of picturing what you want as a future scenario, close your eyes and experience it as a present reality. If you want financial abundance, don't visualize making money someday. Instead, feel into the version of you who is already financially free right now. How does that version of you think differently? How do they move through their day? What decisions do they make naturally and effortlessly? As you embody this state, notice how your entire physiology changes, your posture shifts, your breathing deepens, the tension in your body releases. This isn't happening because you're pretending. It's happening because you're aligning with a quantum reality that already exists. Your nervous system is responding to the frequency of having rather than wanting. Here's where it gets really interesting. The moment you genuinely assume the outcome, you stop needing external validation. You're no longer checking your bank account obsessively or scanning your environment for signs that your manifestation is working. Why? Because in your embodied experience, it's already done. This release of attachment is what allows the quantum field to respond without resistance. Most people think they need to hold on to their desires tightly, but the opposite is true. The quantum field responds to coherence, not effort. It responds to alignment, not attachment. When you're truly embodying the outcome, you naturally let go of controlling how it unfolds. You trust the intelligence of the universe to orchestrate the details in ways that are beyond your limited perspective. Think about the last time something amazing happened in your life, something you had wanted for a long time, but that only manifested after you stopped obsessing over it. Maybe it was meeting someone special when you had given up on dating. Maybe it was landing a dream job when you had stopped desperately searching. Maybe it was receiving money from an unexpected source right when you stopped worrying about your finances. In each of these cases, you experienced backwards manifestation without realizing it. You stopped pushing from a place of need and started allowing from a place of trust. You shifted from wanting to receiving. The quantum field responded to your energetic coherence by collapsing the desired timeline into your present experience. This is the secret that effortless manifestors understand intuitively. They don't try to make things happen. They simply align with realities that already exist in the quantum field. They don't chase outcomes from anxiety or desperation. They choose outcomes from clarity and certainty. They embody the end result so completely that the universe has no choice but to mirror back that frequency. But here's what makes backwards manifestation so challenging for most people. It requires you to completely surrender your attachment to the how and the when. Your job isn't to figure out the logistics of how your desire will manifest. Your job is simply to maintain energetic alignment with the outcome. The quantum field, being infinitely intelligent, will orchestrate all the details in ways that often exceed your expectations. This means releasing your grip on specific paths, particular timelines, or predetermined methods. It means trusting that the universe might deliver your desire in ways you never imagined. It means being open to possibilities that your rational mind couldn't have conceived. This level of surrender can feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're used to trying to control every aspect of your manifestation process. However, this surrender is precisely what allows miracles to occur. When you stop limiting the universe with your expectations, you open the door for infinite possibilities to flow into your experience. Synchronicities multiply, unexpected opportunities arise, people and resources show up effortlessly, problems resolve themselves without your intervention. The key is learning to trust the field completely while maintaining your embodied state. This is what I call quantum coherence. You're simultaneously certain of the outcome and detached from the process. You know it's already yours while remaining open to how it unfolds. You embody having while allowing receiving. Here's a powerful daily practice that will help you master backwards manifestation. Every morning before you get out of bed, spend 5 minutes experiencing your desired reality as if it's already your current life. Don't visualize it happening in the future. Feel it happening right now. If you want a loving relationship, embody the feeling of already being deeply loved and appreciated. If you want financial freedom, align with the peace and security of already having abundant resources. The crucial part is feeling it in your body, not just imagining it in your mind. Let the emotions of gratitude, satisfaction, and joy fill every cell. Notice how your breathing changes when you assume this state. Observe how your muscle tension releases. Pay attention to the shift in your overall energy. This embodied experience is what communicates to the quantum field. After this 5-minute alignment practice, release it completely. Don't carry the feeling around all day or check to see if it's working. Trust that the field received your signal and is already responding. Throughout the day, if doubt or anxiety arises, simply remind yourself gently that it's already done. Don't force the feeling again. Just reconnect briefly with the certainty that your desired reality is unfolding perfectly. With consistent practice, this embodied state becomes your natural baseline. You become less reactive to external circumstances because you're anchored in the internal reality of already having what you want. Your decisions start coming from abundance rather than scarcity. Your interactions become more magnetic because you're no longer operating from need or desperation. People will start noticing that something has shifted about you. You'll appear more confident, more relaxed, more attractive in every sense of the word. This isn't because you're pretending to be different. It's because you're genuinely aligned with a more empowered version of yourself. The quantum field responds to this authentic transformation by delivering experiences that match your new frequency. Now, I want to introduce you to an advanced technique called quantum backcasting. This method involves starting from your desired end result and working backwards to understand the steps that led to it. But instead of planning those steps, you simply embody the identity of someone who naturally took them. Close your eyes and imagine yourself 1 year from now, living your ideal life completely. See yourself thriving in every area. Feel the deep satisfaction of having achieved everything you wanted. From this future perspective, look back at the present moment. What version of yourself had to emerge for this reality to unfold? What beliefs did they hold? How did they think differently? What energy did they consistently embody? Now, instead of trying to become that person, recognize that you already are that person. This version of you exists right now in the quantum field. Your only job is to align with it. Step into that identity completely. Let their confidence become your confidence. Let their clarity become your clarity. Let their natural magnetism become your natural magnetism. The beauty of quantum backcasting is that it bypasses all the logical steps your mind thinks are necessary. You don't need to figure out how to get from where you are to where you want to be. You simply become the person who is already there. The actions, decisions, and opportunities that align with this identity will naturally flow into your experience. This is why some people seem to manifest so effortlessly while others struggle for years. The effortless manifestors aren't doing more. They're being more aligned. They're not working harder. They're embodying more coherently. They understand that changing who you're being is infinitely more powerful than changing what you're doing. Most people have this backwards. They think they need to do different things to get different results. But the quantum field works in reverse. When you become a different person energetically, you naturally start doing different things. The right actions arise spontaneously from the right identity. The perfect opportunities appear because you're vibrating at the frequency that attracts them. This is what I mean when I say manifestation works backwards. You don't become successful and then feel abundant. You feel abundant and then become successful. You don't find love and then feel lovable. You feel lovable and then naturally attract love. You don't make money and then feel worthy. You feel worthy and then money flows to you effortlessly. The moment you reverse this process, everything changes. Instead of waiting for external proof before you embody the desired state, you embody the state and watch as external reality rearranges itself to match. Instead of letting your circumstances determine your frequency, you let your frequency determine your circumstances. Here's what makes this so powerful. When you embody the outcome first, you eliminate all the resistance that comes from wanting and needing. You're no longer pushing against reality from a place of lack. You're simply aligning with a reality that already exists. There's no struggle because there's nothing to struggle against. There's no effort because you're not trying to force something into existence that isn't already there. The quantum field responds to this coherence immediately. Synchronicities begin multiplying. The right people show up at the perfect time. Solutions to problems appear seemingly out of nowhere. Resources become available just when you need them. Life starts flowing with an ease that feels almost magical, but is actually just quantum mechanics in action. I want you to understand something profound. Every single desire you've ever had exists right now as a completed reality somewhere in the quantum field. The version of you living in your dream home exists. The version of you in the perfect relationship exists. The version of you with unlimited financial resources exists. These aren't potentials you might access someday. They're realities you can align with right now. The only thing standing between you and these realities is your current identity. As long as you continue to identify with lack, limitation, or struggle, you'll continue to experience more of the same. But the moment you genuinely identify with abundance, freedom, and joy, the quantum field has no choice but to mirror back experiences that match this new identity. This is why backwards manifestation is so much more powerful than traditional methods. Instead of trying to attract something to you, you're becoming something different. Instead of attempting to change your external world, you're transforming your internal reality. Instead of manifesting from the outside in, you're creating from the inside out. The most important thing to understand is that this isn't a technique you do occasionally. It's a way of being you embody consistently. It's not something you practice for a few minutes each day and then forget about. It's a fundamental shift in how you relate to reality itself. When you truly get this, when you really understand that you are the conscious observer collapsing infinite possibilities into concrete experiences, your entire life transforms. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start being the creator of your reality. You stop waiting for external validation and start generating internal fulfillment. You stop chasing desires from desperation and start choosing outcomes from empowerment. This shift in perspective is what I call the quantum awakening. From this awakened state, manifestation becomes as natural as breathing. You don't have to remember to do it because you're always doing it. Every moment, through your dominant frequency, you're selecting which version of reality you experience. The question isn't whether you're manifesting. The question is what you're manifesting and whether it's conscious or unconscious. When you understand that you're always manifesting based on who you're being, you naturally become more conscious about the identity you embody. You start paying attention to the stories you tell yourself. You become aware of the emotions you're consistently feeling. You notice the beliefs that are running in the background of your consciousness. This awareness allows you to make conscious choices about your internal state. Instead of letting your circumstances dictate your frequency, you choose your frequency based on the reality you want to experience. Instead of reacting to what's happening around you, you respond from the identity of who you're becoming. The beautiful paradox of backwards manifestation is that the moment you stop needing your desires to show up, they do. When you become so aligned with having that you're genuinely indifferent to timing, manifestation accelerates exponentially. This isn't because you don't care anymore. It's because you're no longer blocking the flow with attachment and anxiety. The quantum field responds to coherence, not desperation. It responds to alignment, not effort. It responds to being, not wanting. When you understand this deeply, everything about your approach to life changes. You stop pushing and start allowing. You stop forcing and start flowing. You stop trying and start being. This is the quantum shift that changes everything. It's not about learning new techniques or following complex formulas. It's about remembering who you really are at the quantum level. You are pure consciousness, infinitely creative, with access to unlimited possibilities. Your desires aren't separate from you. They're expressions of your true nature, seeking to emerge through your experience. When you align with this truth, when you embody it completely, miracles become ordinary. What seems impossible to others feels natural to you. What appears difficult to most people flows effortlessly in your experience. This isn't because you're special or chosen. It's because you're aligned with the fundamental creative principles of the universe. The time for struggling with manifestation is over. The time for trying harder to make things happen has passed. The era of backwards manifestation, of embodying outcomes before they appear physically, has begun. You have everything within you right now to create any reality you desire. The question is, are you ready to step into that power completely? Your desires are not asking you to earn them, deserve them, or prove your worthiness. They're asking you to remember that you already are worthy, you already are abundant, you already are loved. They're inviting you to embody the truth of who you are at the quantum level. And watch as your external world transforms to match. This is your invitation to stop manifesting forward and start manifesting backwards. To stop chasing desires from lack and start embodying outcomes from wholeness. To stop trying to become someone different and start being who you already are in the quantum field. Your most extraordinary life isn't something you need to create. It's something you need to choose, and that choice is available to you right now, in this very moment. The quantum shift isn't coming. It's here. It's happening. It's you, awakening to the truth of your infinite creative power and learning to use it consciously. Welcome to backwards manifestation. Welcome to the quantum revolution. Welcome to the rest of your extraordinary life.